We've been on a downward trend, an improving trend for the past few years, but historically this area for the past 20 years has had trouble meeting the federal standards for air quality. And we were recently designated last year in 2004 as a non-attainment area for ground level ozone. So our ozone levels have just been too high. From monitoring data from 2001 to 2003, we violated the standard each year. We violated the 1 hour standard repeatedly. So we just have too many days where we have bad air. Not only ozone, we're also kind of right on the borderline with fine particulate matter.
As bad as Mecklenburg County is, with the ozone primarily, the surrounding counties are all affected. Rowan County is the dirtiest county, has the dirtiest air in the state of North Carolina, and they have almost no pollution sources there in that county. It's all basically drift. Air pollution is a regional problem. The southeast region has the combined effects of stationary weather, a lot of aging coal-fired power plants, and a lot of urban sprawl, all combining to add to this pollution problem. You're not really going to be able to move one county away and get away from it because, unfortunately, the air pollution does not respect county or even state lines. It's a regional problem, and it has to be dealt with at home and on the regional level. Almost all the school buses in North Carolina are diesels. Diesel exhaust has been shown in lots of different studies to have a variety of health effects, including higher risks of lung cancer, higher heart attack rates, and it also causes a lot of asthma. So one of the things that happens is when you put kids in school buses, drive them to and from school each day, the levels inside the school bus of diesel exhaust that gets into the passenger compartment are up to 4 times higher than the outside air. So these kids are getting dosed with diesel exhaust when they're riding on the school buses, even when they're standing around in the parking lot waiting to get on the buses and the buses are all idling.
School nurses each year take data of the students that they serve in our schools in Lincoln County, and in the school year 99 to 2000, we had 248 students who were diagnosed with asthma or reported being diagnosed with asthma. Last school year, 2004-2005, we had 1,093 students who had been diagnosed with asthma. So that's quite a jump in just 5 years' time.
Most county governments are working on getting the diesel buses retrofitted with cleaner burning catalytic converters. There are also some baffling things they can do around the engine that tend to reduce the amount of exhaust that's actually inside the school bus. And most of these are getting, most of the counties are applying for grants from the EPA. The EPA has a program to provide funds to help retrofit these buses. It's expensive. Each bus costs anywhere from $500 to a couple $1,000s to retrofit, and that money just isn't sitting in these county budgets. So there's a lot of grant seeking that's going on to try to get the funds to get these buses retrofitted.
With diesel oxidation catalyst on our school buses, we can reduce the particulate matter that comes out of that tailpipe and into the windows of the school bus.
Our understanding is that it improves emissions by 25 to 40%. And a big thing, of course, is the state and the non-idling policies that they're trying to come up with. And again, we just wanted to be proactive. This is an open crankcase ventilation system. Some oil comes out of our diesel bus engines, but again, this recirculates that and makes it cleaner to the atmosphere. And I think there's like a 10% improvement to the emissions with this system.
You retrofit an entire fleet, you're talking about a big reduction in fine particulate matter that our kids and our teachers and our moms and dads are having to breathe. The main offender is ourselves. In this area, cars, trucks, buses, off-road equipment, motorcycles, jet skis, lawnmowers, weed eater, anything with an internal combustion engine, both gasoline or diesel, that's one of the main contributors to our air quality problems. And until we take ownership of that we're the problem, we're going to have difficulty meeting the standard. Ultra-low sulfur diesel makes our school buses run cleaner. Even if all you do is change over to the fuel and not do any of the retrofits with catalyst or diesel oxidation catalyst, we can reduce fine particulate matter going into the air. But it helps the buses burn cleaner. We have less stuff coming out of the tailpipes of those buses.
The biggest things that the individual parents can do is to try to work with their local school boards to make sure that all of the diesel school buses that are used in their school system are retrofitted. That's probably the biggest first step. The second thing would be to make sure that there's an anti-idling program. School buses should not be sitting in the parking lot with the children with their engines running. They should fire them up when they get ready to leave and turn them off as soon as they get in there. The same thing goes for the carpooling lines. Parents who are sitting in carpooling lines should turn off their engines. That cuts down the little dome of smog that these kids have to walk around in and wait in while they're waiting to get picked up from after-school activities. Over the past several years, there have been numerous studies that have come out that have shown major negative health impacts on children from air pollution exposure. And this goes all the way from sudden infant death, increases, stillbirth increases, birth defect increases, up through childhood asthma with much worse burdens of asthma in areas that have air pollution. And that means more kids not only having asthma attacks, but more kids who actually get asthma based on having this air pollution exposure. And perhaps the most disturbing fact of all is the way that we are limiting our children's lung function growth through this air pollution exposure. Kids who grow up in dirty air areas have only achieve about 80% of the same lung capacity that a kid who grows up in clean air will achieve. And not only that, as these kids age, they're going to have an increased burden of premature lung disease that we have not even begun to pay for yet.
Code Orange, Air Quality in Metrolina, is made possible by generous contributions from these citizens, government agencies, and community organizations. And by viewers like you. Thank you.